be used to get them to take the micro C-hip. Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashim, Rakakwadash. I'm like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Who is in the gospel brothers with the standing of Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is what happens when you sell out to Babylon the Great. Okay, and this is why all the nations are going to come against this place, because of the mass chaos that has produced America, the chaos and the hell that this place have put upon these other nations that was once considered sovereign. So when you have leaders that sell out to democracy and the establishing of the dollar at gunpoint, this is what happens. Same thing in Venezuela. Same thing over here in Pakistan. Same thing is going to commence to America once the Saudis dupe this dollar. Okay, once the Saudis and China cut this place off in its totality, you can expect famines to come to America. Okay, mass food prices. I mean, inflation. What fucking it says that inflation jumped to 35.37%. That's literally 15% shy of 50% of inflation on a whole, bro. That's crazy. That's nuts, man. Do you know what will happen if that came or when that comes over here? And there will be a famine because people are going to go in the stores and they're going to buy everything up. People are going to die. Food is going to get bad. Military is going to ration things up. But when these people can't get access to their bread and circuits and to their goods anymore, these Americans are going to fucking lose it, man. Okay? I can see it happening. And it will happen. And this is what happens when you have a dollar that's not being backed by anything that's being pushed upon the nations, man. Okay? Because Esau go over there and he promised him a better way of life. Yeah, you use our currency, man. You'll be able to trade with the U.S. dollar. Prices will be cheaper. You'll be able to live an American lifestyle. And he know that these third world countries are without. So anything that's enticing to that, hey, they're gonna go with it because they've never experienced some type of luxurious life that we have over here in the West. Even in our low conditions as Israelites over here, living in apartments and ghettos, is still more probable than their deplorable situations overseas. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking you go to places like Brazil, Central America, Honduras. Some of those mud huts over there, hey, living in the projects was like living in a condo, man, compared to how those other nations live in poverty. Okay, but this is coming to Babylon the Great. That's why the scriptures tell you in Isaiah the 47th chapter, it says, "And one day thou shalt know the loss of children," etc. Roughly paraphrasing it. It's gonna get real brutal out here soon, brothers, man. All right. It says Pakistan posts highest ever inflation in March. Consuming price inflation in Pakistan jumped to a record of 35.37, and at least 16 people were killed in stampedes for aid for food. And this is what happens when a so-called white man, you allow him to come into your country, man. This is what happens. Okay. Let me get the book of Proverbs, because they're in a famished state. I mean, to the point they can't afford food. I mean, to the point they're gonna starve out, and a lot of them are gonna die. That's going to be a big plague on the planet Earth is famine. And the scriptures continue to specify and to hint at famines coming to overtake these nations, man. And that's a horrible way to go. That's probably like one of the most horrific ways that the Most High can have you to go out is by being famished, man. Because what happens when your body is when you have the lack of nutrients and your body is pretty much processed everything and you go into ketosis or what they call ketosis or something, like in the fat burning stage after 24 hours. Then after a while, when your body has nothing to feed on, it starts to eat itself. And that's a painful and that's a slow agonizing death, man. When your organs literally start to eat themselves, because your organs need protein, they need food, they need energy in order to survive. And when the point of it just eats you alive, then you die. I mean, eventually you're just going to give up the spirit. All right, but this is the book of Proverbs 28, and I'm going to start at verses 29. It says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn." And this is a result of the people or the wicked bearing rule. Okay, this is all due to Esau Edom because the U.S. dollar. Okay, Esau is trading, the Saudis are cutting them off. This is going to come to Babylon the Great. Like right now, I believe we're at 9%, 9 to 10% inflation. Okay, which is relatively high from what we're used to. But what happens when that inflation goes up to 30, 40, 50%, 60% inflation? When a loaf of bread is running you $1,000, then what? Then what are people going to do? People are going to result to violence. They're going to result to the streets. They're going to result to breaking and entering. Okay, if you look like you have food in your dwelling, you better believe somebody's going to kick that door in and they coming to get what you got. And it's going to get to that point. It's going to become a dog-eat-dog world, man. And it's all set up for that because everybody over here in the West, everybody is piled up on top of each other. Houses are literally within feet from the next. You can literally see into somebody's backyard from your living room. Versus in the ancient world, we had palaces that was spread out. You had your own lake. You had thousands of acres of land that was only owned or dedicated to you. Therefore, another person ain't coming on your property unannounced. Versus here, I could look out my patio and I could see 12 other apartments, man. And that's just a recipe for disaster right there. And that's why the scriptures say, woe to them that build house to house. Okay. Second address, and we gon', this is gonna get gritty, man. Second address 15:1, it says, speak down in the ears of my people the words of prophecy which I will put in thy mouth, says the Lord. Okay. Prophecy means to say before. And the words we're speaking, they're coming to pass. Famines, pestilence, wars, rumors of wars, the RFID, CHIP, okay, the martial law, the FEMA camps. All these things are prophesied in the scriptures to come to pass in the days we're entering. And it says, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. But fear not the imaginations against thee, and let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful should die in their unfaithfulness. So vocab and you Christian apologists that's been coming against the truth, man, hey, eventually you're just going to be put to death, man. Okay, and vocab, the Most High is saving you for a special judgment. See, what the Most High going to do to you, man, he's going to allow you to see us rising up in power. He's going to allow you to see what we've been saying has been the truth all along. And you know this. But see, you got to get humbled, though. So you're going to see the men of the Lord with actual power. Okay? Could be probably when the Lord comes back, or could be before then. Whenever the Lord decides to raise us up out of this low state. And when you see that this word takes off and that this is the actual truth, that's when the Most High is going to put hell on you, man. And you're going to die a horrible death, man. Okay, vocab alone. You're going to die horribly. And those that follow you, you're going to perish horribly. Okay, famine ain't enough for you, man. You may get famine and you may get the missiles at the same time. So while you alive in that body, like it was a movie called The Machinist, this guy, Christian Bale, they said that this dude got down on like 90 something pounds to do that role. Basically anorexic state, man. That's dangerous. And you're still able to live in some instances like that. So just imagine you being anorexic. You have no food in your body. You're totally famished. Not a blight of fat on your body. You're literally, your rib cage is touching your back. And then the Most High heat your ass up with the missiles, man. That's a beautiful thing for you scoffers and you scorners. Especially for guys like vocab. But anyway, it says, behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. Sword, famine, death, and destruction, man. Sword, famine, death, and destruction. Famine is the biggest thing. Okay, because the scriptures say you'd rather be put to death with the sword than to die by famine. Okay, because when you die by famine, man, that's a whole nother level of torment that you don't want to undergo. Okay, because like we said, your body starts to eat itself. It turns on itself, and your body is literally eating you from within. Painful. It says, for the wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth. So this is just not going to be in Babylon. This is going to be upon the whole known world. Okay, because all these places have partook in the atrocities of Babylon the Great. And all you nations have had the children of Israel in some type of involuntary servitude. Okay, all you nations, man. And it says, and the hurtful works are fulfilled. So therefore, thus says the Lord, I will touch my tongue no more as to touching their wickedness, in which they profanely commit, neither would I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. But behold, the innocent and righteous blood cried unto me, and the souls of the just complain unto me continually, man. Okay, and that's what we're speaking about. We're complaining to the Lord to bring judgment, and the words we're speaking is causing the Lord to move upon his promises, if you believe. 12, it says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. And they that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fell through with the blasting of hell and with the fearful consolation. Okay, but woe to them, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. One people should stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Riots, okay, class riots, food riots, family riots, squirrels and so not squirrels, but what do you call quarrels and so forth among nations. And everybody's gonna point the finger at the West because everybody know that you're the problem. It says, "For the sword and the destruction drive nigh, and one people should stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands." Okay, guns, bricks, bottles. This is basically going into like a purge type scenario. All right. Um, it says, "For there should be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they should not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Okay, meaning they're just gonna say, "The hell with the government. We're gonna do what the hell we want to do, and we're gonna go back and take what's ours." And that's gonna be the mindset of these Babylonians, these Americans. Is gonna be the mindset of their entitlement is gonna kick in. They're gonna like, well, look, we've been paying taxes, we've been paying into a system that's been totally playing us. We're gonna take what's ours, and that's gonna be the commonality of the average American, especially you red-blooded Americans, you Edomites, you devils, you constitutionalists, you patriot devils. They're the ones that's gonna get the Civil War started. You Jakes, you ain't gonna do shit but sit back and watch fucking World Star Hip Hop until the Most High destroy your ass. Cause see, Jake, a nigga don't fight for a fucking thing, man. A nigga always want a fucking handout. All right, a nigga always feel entitled to get a handout. Jake don't want to do shit, man. But these Edomites, they gonna try to take back what's theirs, and it's gonna end horribly for them. But they're gonna still attempt. While you Jakes are just sitting back, twiddling your thumbs, scratching your head. Oh, what's happening? You got the dumbass nigga woman, the black woman. She gonna get so caught out there, man. Eve, you just gonna get straight up steamrolled, man. You Eves, man. You gonna have a hard time in hell, literally trying to survive this whole Jacob's trouble thing, man. And you know what's so spiritual, bro? I'm just sitting back and I'm looking at my patio, and the trees are actually just sprouting. Like, I just looked at this tree probably an hour ago and was not a leaf on it, but now they're sprouting. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, I just looked at this tree, wasn't shit on it, and now they're sprouting, bro. That's the spirit. But regardless of that, as these trees are flourishing, you people are getting ready to be malnourished out here. Okay? And if you don't believe it, hey, don't believe it. Just wait until it happens. But it says, a man should desire to go into a city and should not be able, because you're going to have class riots, social riots, civil unrest. Okay, you're going to have the martial law that's going to come in to establish order out of chaos. But see, what's going to be so crazy is that you're going to have people that's going to go at it with the martial law. Okay, it's going to be literally a war on both sides. It's going to be a war against the citizens and against the government. The cops, they're going to side with majority of the patriotic citizens. But the military, they're going to be brought in because the people are going to be out of control. In many ways, it's a good thing, because that way, though, it can give the men of the Lord time to kind of get in and out of this place unnoticed for the most part, because there's going to be so much shit happening, to the point I think the Lord is going to really shield us from everything. Okay, because martial law, yeah, they're going to have particular units that's going to come after us particularly, but it's going to be too much shit going on for them to just be zooming in on one man of the Lord. It's going to be a collective thing. So with all the fighting and shit like that, man, they ain't just worried about one individual. They're trying to get shit under control and establish this new world order through force and dominance. And that's when the witch hunt commences. But by that time, man, Lord's will, we can have some type of way to navigate through this shit. But how it's going to play out, we just have to wait and see. All right, I'm eager to see how the Lord is going to help us out in that day. I'm just waiting to see how he's going to make moves to help his men out. Lord's will, I'm one of them that he's able to assist. But, we believe we will be. Just got to have faith in that, because we made it this far, right? But anyway, it says, for because of the pride, the city should be troubled and the houses should be destroyed. Men should be afraid, and a man should have no pity upon his neighbor, but should destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and great tribulation. So it's to the point that people are literally just going to go door to door robbing people, and what they find, they keep. They find your wives, your daughters, then they, fuck it, we keeping your wife and your daughter. What you going to do? Then it's going to go back to a bartering system, man. You're going to have people that's going to be sold in sex trafficking, sex rings, man. Hey, we got a nice, young, tender female, age of 21 years old, that's had 100 men, but hey, you can have her for a loaf of bread. And you're going to have trades like that. A lot of you women are going to get caught up into sex trafficking schemes too out here. All you black women out there, you Hispanics, you Native Americans, and you Edomite women that like to twerk and show your bodies off, and I like to be provocative and haughty against men. A lot of you, man, you're going to get sold into these sex rings. And like Elder Malcolm would say, the cock carousel is going to ride you. You know, since you're putting your shit out there like that, the carousel is gonna ride you. We'll see how you're gonna twerk in that day. All right. Next precept, 2nd Ezra 16, and I'm gonna start at verses woe is me 17. Woe is me, who would deliver me in those days? Okay, this is a question that the men of the Lord are asking because hey, we ask ourselves this all the time. You know, we consider our health, we examine ourselves, we consider the things we go through. And like, Lord, man, if I'm not whole now, how the hell am I gonna make it through Jacob's trouble with being disabled or being in some type of disadvantage, especially when people are gonna be out here going batshit crazy. Sometimes you ask yourself, like, how in the fuck am I even gonna make it? But that's when the faith kicks in. You gotta believe that the Lord is gonna build us up and he's gonna raise us up in that day to do what we have to do. Because if not, then we will be a casualty of war. But it says the beginning of sorrows and great mournings and the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars and the powers that should stand in fear and the beginning of evils. But what shall I do when these evils come? But famine is the main thing. Because when famine commences, people lose their minds, man. Okay? And before people get to that point of being famished, you better believe they're going to go on a rampage to get what they need. Because when you famished totally, you have no energy in your body to do anything. You can't do shit. You can't move. You know what I'm saying? You know how, brothers, if you go on a 2 or 3 day fast and, you know, your body hits particular fat burning stages, sometimes you feel like you can't even walk. Your blood pressure's all over the place. You're like, oh, shit. But your body goes into a state of, it kicks in. It's an overdrive to the point, you know, that you get your energy back. But how long can that commence? Go 30 days without food and water, you're going to die. Okay? I mean, you go 30 days without food if you got water, but you can't do both. Okay? Just like if you eat food and don't drink no water, your ass will die from dehydration, man. All right? But it says, behold, famine and plague and tribulation are anguish, and anguish are sin and scourges for amendment. But for all these things, they should not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges, which justifies our Lord to bring more hell upon these people. But he says, behold, victuals should be good, so cheap upon earth, they should think themselves to be in good case. But even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell on the earth shall perish of famine. And this is what we send among them Pakis. It says, and the others that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And the dead should be cast out as dung, and there should be no man to comfort them. For the earth should be wasted, and the city should be casted down, and there should be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. Okay, and that's the point. These people are getting ready to be totally railroaded out here. And it's coming, man. Okay, it's coming sooner than what we think. So I'm going to end it there, giving all praises. Matter of fact, one more precept. Let me go down a little bit. It says the trees should give fruit, but who should gather them? Because the dead. It says the grapes should ripen, and who should tread them? For all places should be desolate of men, and the city will be a scarcity of men, because the dead is going to be innumerable. Okay? It says, for there should be, for a city, there should be 10 left, and 2 of a field, which shall hide themselves in thick groves and in the clefts of the rock. So this is telling you a lot of people are getting ready to die. 10 left in a city. Chicago, that city has over 8 million people, man. Okay? Over 8 million something people in this city of Chicago. I mean, you got the surrounding suburbs too, 10, 11 million, possibly more than that. But think about it, in just the metropolis area alone in Chicago, over 3 million people, 10 left. You know how many dead motherfuckers is going to be out there? And that stink, that smell, which is going to bring in more diseases and pestilence. You're going to smell death in the air, man. That's how bad it's going to get. So we're going to need the Lord, bro. It's going to get that bad. It says, in which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and the clefts of the rocks. And as in the orchard of olives upon every tree, there are 3 left or 4. It says, are left 3 or 4 olives, or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so in those days, there should be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. Damn. And the earth should be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, in her ways, and all her paths should grow full of thorns, because no man should travel therethrough. Ain't gonna have no public works to cut grass and spray insecticides and clean out the highways. It's gonna be literally like a jungle out here. Nature's gonna take itself back, and it don't take long for the cities to reclaim, or the nature to reclaim these cities. Literally months top 3. Let's just say if Kansas City, Missouri, right? If public works went on strike, and every municipality that deals with the landscaping and cleaning up the city, they went on strike for 2-3 months, you'll notice a difference. Okay, you'll start to see vines go out of these skyscrapers, And the longer they're vacant, the more they decay. You know, because people are not keeping them up. So you don't have them spraying insecticides and trimming trees and cutting grass and stuff like that. This nature will really take this city back within months. Highways will become forests again. You know what I'm saying? Overpasses will collapse. You'll have a tree that grew up right in the middle of your fucking living room, man. Trust me, it's coming. But the virgin should mourn, having no bridegrooms, and a woman should mourn, having no husbands, and their daughter should mourn, having no helpers. And in the war should their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands should perish of famine. So, hey, famine is coming back in a big way. But, hey, with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. And with that, Shalom and above.